I want out to live my life. I want out. Leave me be. I want out. Hey, how's it going out there? This is Ryan Prince, the Prince of Alberta. Don't let the last name fool you. It doesn't come with any status or anything like that. My name's Ryan Prince. And I'm just here again to give you guys some information. I want to show you the APP CEO and Alberta Prosperity Project CEO and their website. And so you can go on there and check the events out. You can check stuff out here and there. With my entry video, my first video there, I'm pretty sure you guys have some questions. Who's this guy? What's this guy talking about? And blah, blah, blah. This and that, right? So yeah, I just wanted to, I'm going to show you. Here's the APP website, the CEO, and remember the question. If you were independent today, an Alberta independent person, would you join Canada the way it is? Would you join it? That's your question. That's your choice. But this is happening, and this is a cool time to be in. Cool. All right. Here's an interview from Lethbridge with the CEO of APP.
The Alberta Prosperity Project has come forward with a new question on separation that it hopes will be put on a petition and then put to voters in a referendum. Recent amendments to Bill 14, the Citizens Initiative Act, have changed some of the rules forcing organizations to reapply. So here to talk about the process and this new separation question is the CEO of the Alberta Prosperity Project, Mitch Sylvester, who joins me in studio. Good to have you with me today.
Yeah, good.
Mitch.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Okay, so let's get right to this new question. So how is it different from the original question?
What's different about it is it complies exactly with the Clarity Act, word for word. Okay, our other one had some variances in it. This one here is word for word compliant with the Clarity Act.
The Clarity Act.
So the Clarity Act is part of the Canadian Constitution. Mm-hmm. So it is the legal pathway for us to leave Canada. Mm-hmm. So of course we just went word for word because we've just left court, mm-hmm. and we've actually had 3 full days in court and a lot of expense to do that. And before Justice Feasby could come out with his ruling, mm-hmm.
The
government changed the rules. And what we saw was we didn't believe that the Citizens Initiative Act should actually ever have gotten to court, based on the fact that the very spirit of that act is so that citizens could ask questions of their government unencumbered by government interference, which is exactly what happened. Elections Alberta weighed in and got us to court. And basically our problem is we want to know how can asking a constitutional question be against the Constitution.
Yeah. I was going to mention that your original question obviously got tangled up in court.
Yes.
So it sounded like the chief electoral officer wanted a ruling on the constitutionality of it, right?
Yes.
So what did they not like about the old question?
Well, what they're saying is that any question from us is going to violate certain people's rights. But however, that cannot be the case because asking a question doesn't violate anybody's rights, even though what it leads to may require changes to the Constitution. But I mean, how can you ever change the Constitution if you can't ask a question? Mm-hmm. So what we're seeing moving forward is the problem that there's so many steps involved here that the court got ahead of itself as far as I'm concerned. So the first thing we have to do is we have to get 177,000 signatures, which is not easy to do. Okay, then we have to present it back to government, and government will choose whether or not to have that as a referendum question. Okay, so then that has to be approved. Mm-hmm. So the citizens of Alberta have to vote for that. Mm-hmm. And then before you do any of those changes, both of those things have to happen. So there are major hurdles. So if we get a majority of people of Alberta that want to do this, does it make it legit? And that's the question.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, and Quebec's had 2 referendums already.
Right. Yeah.
So this is not uncharted ground. We're absolutely going to do the same thing that's already been done.
I have your new question here. I know you were searching for it on your phone. It is, so the new question asks, do you agree that the province of Alberta should cease to be a part of Canada to become an independent state?
Yes.
So it represents a slight revision from, I guess, your prior question, which asked voters if they agreed that Alberta shall become a sovereign country and cease to be a province in Canada. So it looks like the new wording, like you were saying, is drawn from the Federal Clarity Act.
Yeah, and it's exactly from the Clarity Act.
Okay.
Okay, so, and the other part is that people are confused. State and independent country are an absolute wash. If you looked up the definition, state and country are basically words that say the same thing.
Yeah. So if the referendum question is successful, then, and there are negotiations with Ottawa, the federal government cannot challenge the wording in court because it's taken from the actual legislation, is what you're saying.
And just to clarify, state does not mean U.S. state.
Yes, I was actually going to ask that. So some people see the word state in the new question and they think that you're referring to the United States. So why that wording?
Well, because that's what's in the Clarity Act. It's that simple. There's nothing more to it than that. Okay, so that's what they're saying in there. So we actually used it. I saw the problem right away, as people are going to associate that with us joining up with the Americans. Have from our conversations with them, I think that's going to be a very hard thing to do. First of all, we have to become independent, and then we would have to ask them to join, which I don't see happening, not from our perspective anyways. And then they, from their end, have to have 70% approval from both houses. And so that becomes a big hurdle for them. And the Democrats don't want another Republican state, basically, is what Alberta would be.
Yeah, so it sounds like something neither side wants.
Exactly, and that's what we're seeing. And I think both sides are happy to leave the relationship just the way it is and move forward from there.
Okay. All right.
With a lot of benefits for Alberta.
Cool. This is.
Do you want to?
You gotta go to APP. Well, you gotta go to Alberta Prosperity Project. Alberta Prosperity. There it is. I've been on this lots of times. So this is what it is. Alberta Prosperity Project. APP. So we'll go over there, and this is their website. And they got the question already there. Do you agree that the province of Alberta should cease to be part of Canada to become an independent state? And this video, like I say, I'm going to explain a little bit. The CEO is going to explain it. Because he knows better than I'm just giving the information out and stuff like that. So, yeah, they got videos. Check it out. There. They show about us. There's the privacy policy. Join the project. Education. They show you other parts on their website. What does Alberta sovereignty mean? Why does Quebec have more sovereignty than other provinces? What is the future of Alberta if we do nothing? It'll be horrible. What are the benefits of Alberta sovereignty? What is the roadmap to Alberta sovereignty? Videos, webinars, this and that. They got resources you can go into, check it out, download all the great signs and stuff. Events. Go to the event section, because this is where you're going to find where they have an event, and they're going to have many of them. They say, I think it was like three events a day. You look, Redcliffe, Let's Talk, tells you the date, the time. Usually they're about 7 o'clock, 7:30. They're in the evening, so even after work, you can go join. Well, you can go for a nice little dinner, you know. A group of you go for dinner and then go to one of these great events. They tell you where it is. If you got a RSVP, let's go to Bonnyville. There's Water Valley Community Hall. This Disbury Memorial Complex, and I guess you can go right into, let's check out more information. Yeah, see, you got who they tell you everything Albertan, who cares, blah blah blah. We all care, not like Carney there. So yeah, you can go check all this out at any time to see where the next one is. Oh, let's see, Fort McMurray. There you go, Saturday, June 10th, 7:30. Go for some dinner with a group of people. Go to the event. Ask your questions. Enjoy some life. Check her out. APP. Alberta Prosperity Project. Yeah. All right. Let's go back. Let's go check out the CEO.
The Prosperity Project was pretty adamant that Gordon McClure's move, sending your original question to court, was nothing more than political interference. So how do you square that with McClure?
Well, you know what? It was put, so let's go back to the actual act. 2.4 was put in by the UCP, right? They wrote the bill. They totally understood that there was a possibility that could happen. So by writing the bill, they knew that was a possibility. As a matter of fact, I would suggest that they probably were counting on it, even though they had to go back and change the rules in order to accommodate it. The funniest thing about that whole thing, from my perspective, as an independent Albertan, is I thought it was actually hilarious. Justice Feasby was very, very angry about the fact that they changed it. The legislation's changed it. But here's my point of view. So we've got an elected, Liberal appointed bureaucrat who's upset that the elected government changed the rules where they thought it was their job to change the rules. So how does that square? How do we think of that as individual Albertans? I totally understand his perspective, that he thought that, he actually said in court that there are certain questions that the citizens of Alberta should not be able to ask. How does that work? Take that a step further. And so here we are in a situation where the whole spirit of this whole Citizens Initiative Act is to get people to ask questions that they want the government to deal with, that the government doesn't have the courage to put out there on their own. Because this is a very controversial subject.
Yes,
even though I totally believe the only clear path is for us to get out of Canada based on what's going on in the East, not based on anything else. The government in Eastern Canada continues to sabotage Alberta industry and hurt the people of Alberta. And it doesn't seem like there's any appetite to stop that. So Carney came out with all these wonderful projects for everywhere in Canada except Alberta. Right?
Yeah.
So we're the driver of the economy in the whole country. I want to ask you a question. Why do we not get any consideration at all from these people?
Yeah, and I think that's the question of a lot of Albertans.
Well,
right?
yeah, and it's legit.
This is so awesome. This is such an awesome time to be in. I thank you. I thank all of you. Just checking stuff out, checking this out. And that's what you should be doing. Go look up the information yourself. Don't rely on me. Don't rely on anybody. Go check it out. But I want to wish everybody well, the best on the other side of this screen. In Lakesh.